Happy 118th Facebook Live Wednesday. I am dedicating this particular Facebook Live to my parents who taught me actually how worrying can cause so much unnecessary stress. I think both of them lived very, very stressful lives. My dad suffered from poverty and witnessed a lot of things that he shouldn't have. My mom lived during, you know, the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and just the violence and just the trauma that she experienced, you know, losing her parents at such a young age. She was 9 when her dad passed and 16 when her mom passed. So you can imagine that worrying was a default. And I used to believe that if you didn't worry, you didn't care. Or I tell myself, I'm gonna wait until maybe 2 days before something that was worrying me, right? To just, and now I'm planning this Maui trip that we'll be leaving tomorrow. And I'm thinking, wow, I tend to worry about, I mean, everything. GE taxes are due today. Even planning what to talk about regarding worrying. And I thought, you know, I am going to share this book. I need to buy it. It's from the library, but it's called The Little Book of Letting Go. It's a revolutionary 30-day program to cleanse your mind, lift your spirit, and replenish your soul by Hugh Prather. And this is a life-changing book. I'm dedicating the month of July every Wednesday to a little tip on surrendering or letting go, right? And that's what this whole book, Mama's Gotta Let Go, how to let go without losing your sanity. I still lose my sanity. I still struggle with letting go, but it's a process, right? And so today's short tip is talking about like what worrying feels like. To me, it feels like torture. Think about what worrying does to your mind, to your body, to your soul. And a lot of times it's unrest because you feel perhaps something horrible might happen in the future, right? We worry about our fears becoming realities. We are wondering if we're prepared. Are we going to feel incompetent? That's a big one for me. Are we going to forget something that is really important? So I thought, what simple tool can I choose? There are so many really good tools in this book, but a simple one that I've been trying that actually works. But you have to fight your ego because your brain will want you in that default worrying mode. It doesn't want you to be happy, to be at peace, to be, you know, without stress. And this simple tool is called release. What do I mean by releasing? You identify the thought. So my first thought, of course, was, what if I forget to bring something? Anytime I travel, I always worry about, you know, will I be prepared? Am I going to leave on time? Am I going to miss my flight? So instead of going down that rabbit hole, you just identify the thought, right? Like, oh my gosh, right now a lot of parents are fearing the start of school. Is my child prepared for the upcoming school? Do they have the skills that they need in order to succeed? You know, will they fail? Will they comprehend? Will they, you know, practice the skills that they need and retain them? So as soon as you identify that thought, I am worrying about fill in the blank, you immediately, and this takes a lot of discipline, you interrupt that thought. Think of anything. I could think of my parents and a loving memory. I can think of my doggies and, you know, how loved they make me feel. I could think of a happy memory. I remember laughing with my parents when we played Heads Up. It was a funny game where you put a card on your forehead and then you have to give clues. And my mom would have something like shark, and she would say, I'm not a shark. And we just laughed hysterically because even before she experienced Alzheimer's, English was never her first language. She would start forgetting Japanese, And so my dad said she was a woman without a language. But I thought, you know, all of those times that my parents made me laugh, I can immediately switch to that. So think of anything that contains love or connection. Your default thought process, your ego, your brain does not want you to experience connection. So when people say if it's not one thing or another, your brain is focused on what is going wrong, not what is going right. So what are the things that make you laugh? And you pivot quickly before you go down the rabbit hole. It takes awareness. Many times I'm deep, deep, deep down in the rabbit hole. And if you go further in, you might not want to crawl out, right? Because you are just immersed in this black hole of negativity, of worry. Oh my gosh, it's my cousin Charlene. Hey. Praying for Tom. Please pray for and send healing energy to her brother, Tom, who needs your prayers. Once again, major worry, right? When it's the health of a loved one. When I experience or witness other people losing their husbands or losing loved ones, I immediately have that fear. And so, you're welcome, Charlene. But then now I'm realizing I need to quickly be aware, interrupt that thought with anything. Sometimes it's a cute panda video. You guys know I'm into sloths. That was the huge stuffed animal that my mom clung to. And people are like, I didn't know your mom liked sloths. It's actually me, but I had a collection of sloths and we would just have her hold them, you know, put the sloth next to her. And I don't know if she liked the sloths, but it brought her comfort. But think of anything, a past childhood memory, maybe something that, you know, your favorite person who may not even be in your life anymore. One of the first times that you fell in love and that feeling that you just cherished. Maybe cute lately, and I love Charlene's granddaughter, cutest girl ever, but I notice when I see babies, I was walking the dogs this morning and saw a father pushing the stroller with his baby. And I thought, that's what I need to envision. Anything that can interrupt that worry. You might not believe me, but try it. It is just identifying the thought. And immediately when we go to worrying, which means fearing the worst case scenario, all of your energies go into feeling that fear and believing it. And then thoughts might be like, I can't handle this pending loss, this pending tragedy, this experience. I'm going to fall apart. And my friend just shared with me yesterday that she allowed herself to fall apart. And she said it was very painful. But when she went through it, she realized that nothing can interfere her peace, that she gets to choose peace or she gets to choose anything but peace. And she said, you know what I finally realized? And as soon as she was sharing, this truck just passed the yellow line and cut in front of us. But before that, it kept beeping and beeping and beeping his horn. And we were on a one-way, you know, just we couldn't even pass anyone. There's no room to even go on the side. And she started laughing. So normally this would irritate me and annoy me, but I know that I get to choose. And I thought, that is right. We forget that we have the power to choose worry and fear, or we get to choose the alternative, which is peace, which is the ability to even be kind to ourselves. And someone just asked me, how did you even, you know, share the last 2 weeks of my mom's life and be, you know, just smile and share without being you know, drenched in misery and fear. And I thought, you know, I think it's because I decided to be fully in the present and know that she would be reunited, right? At first I thought, oh my gosh, how horrible, she died on my dad's birthday. And then my daughter, my oldest daughter, Sabrina, said, Mom, you know how romantic that is to be reunited with the love of her life on his birthday? And that immediately switched my neural pathways, my brain was like, wow, that is romantic. What a beautiful way to end your journey on earth and be reunited with her loved ones, her parents, right? I mean, to lose a dad at age 9 and then your mom at age 16. She had 3 brothers, 2 sisters, and she experienced a lot of trauma. I remember one time she lived very, very wealthy, and someone, this robber, tied her and her sister up and stole all of these very valuable kimonos. And I thought, you know, witnessing that, experiencing the loss, she never, she was filled with worry, but she always found a way to laugh, to say, you know, it's all right. You learned this time. And I realized that as much worrying that I do, I was taught, my mom and dad taught me that even though, well, my dad was very, you know, like, it's going to happen. It's not if it's going to happen. Bad things will happen. And I remember telling him, I am not going to raise my daughters fearing what might happen. He wasn't very happy about that, but I got it. You know, I should have said, I understand, Daddy, because of your experiences, but I am going to help my daughters see the beauty in the world, the positive ifs, instead of, and this is what I tend to do, I call it negative future catastrophizing. I'm like, that's what I do. I think of the worst case, what if, and I go there. I remember telling a therapist, you know, well, when my daughter's 30, and what if and she stopped me, she said, wait, Karen, your daughter's 11. And I realized what I was doing. I was always fearing what might happen. And how can I feel safe? How can I feel that life is worth the struggle, right? So think about the happy moment, and you know how you let go? By setting it as a goal to connect, right? Mental wholeness, our mental health should be top priority. So I notice a lot of people who are really stressed out, and you know, they need to meet deadlines. They need to do this. Thomas is under a lot of stress. We're leaving tomorrow evening, and I can never, I'm realizing I can't take someone's stress away. I can give them an alternate perspective. And if they do stress, it is not my stress to carry. That's a hard one. If you see your children suffering or not being happy, I think as a mother, you are, yes, Charlene put, OMG, we are related with 4 kids. It's an everyday thing, worry. See, but we tell ourselves that. Someone that I interviewed yesterday said, all of our beliefs, we automatically believe are facts. They're not facts. And I thought, wow, how powerful, because we make ourselves, I make myself, right, really, really believe I need to worry. I need to fix their problems. I need to fill in the blank. And I interviewed this soon to be 28-year-old man, and he said, my mom taught me not to worry. She said, everything's going to work out. They left the mom left his dad, who was a drug addict, but had very healthy relationships with his family. And they didn't know sometimes where they would move next. But the mom said, everything's going to be okay. And if you didn't know something, she said, I don't know it too, but we're going to figure it out. He had to fill out his own FAFSA forms to apply for college. The mom said, I don't really know how to do this. Here's my taxes. Here's the FAFSA. Go for it. And I thought, wow, talk about releasing. I will be sharing his interview soon. His name is James Raposa-Lee. Amazing. You know, some people are just old souls. And he just had this calm way of sharing his life so that, you know, no one would feel sorry about what went wrong in his life, like maybe, you know, his father being addicted to drugs, his mother leaving, and I mean, you know, his mother needing to leave. But he said, I was grateful. I was grateful that she left. I was grateful that she gave me the power and the freedom to figure it out. And I thought, I think that's what I lacked, because I worried so much that I felt it was my responsibility to prevent them from struggles, to prevent them from failing. And this is my new thing now. My daughters, continue to tell me, remind me that, oh my gosh, Mom, you would have raised us completely differently. Yes, I would have, but I didn't know. So now I'm sharing all the things that I am learning, and worrying is something that I think can lead to physical illness, right? They say that like cancers and strokes and heart attacks and diabetes, I mean, every health issue is related to, I remember my cousin, Charlene Aurora, said, it's the dis-ease. Diseases are because of the dis-ease of your mind, worrying, fears, just hanging on to the past, maybe resentments, regrets. And I remember learning this, gosh, I don't remember how many years ago we lost her, but that was very powerful for me to realize. And even then, I wasn't ready to let go. Don't get me wrong, I struggle with worrying every day. I do have awareness. I have to practice more on, pivoting at the moment. Fortunately, I have my 2 dogs and my cat. I am conscious of worrying, and I try to either pick up something. I just see this. I keep this near me, and sometimes just looking at it. Sometimes I play How Deep Is Your Love by the Bee Gees. Sometimes I look at family pictures. Sometimes I call a friend, and in the middle of me crying, she'll say something that makes me laugh. But really, look at the photos of your beautiful granddaughter, Charlene, and just know, you know what another thing is? I've learned to trust my children's journey, no matter how my judgment might be like, oh my gosh, they need some guidance. And just say, you know what? They'll figure it out. They will be fine. And if they are struggling, there's a purpose to that struggle, and they will become better people. Lastly, I interviewed someone else yesterday who shared, is a quantum wellness coach. So it's all about energy. And he said, you know what we need to focus on is the importance of allowing our kids to struggle. So his analogy was, you know how when a chick starts pecking and cracking its shell in order to be born, the mother hen does not make it easier and help the chick break the shell. Because if the mother hen did help the chick break its shell, Jason Lattice, that's the quantum wellness coach I interviewed yesterday, said the chick would most likely die, because the chick needs to go through the struggle and needs to grow, needs to experience what it needs to do in order to become strong, in order to become resilient, in order to know that, hey, they can figure it out. And I thought, wow, what an important lesson for me to learn. Like, I feel as a tutor, I need to help my kids, my students succeed. I need to, I'm getting paid. I need to make sure that they get high grades. And now I'm realizing it's not the grades that should be the focus. It's the learning process. And lastly, when Jason said he tells his kids, don't let school get in the way of education, I thought, oh my gosh, we allow school to get in the way of life lessons, of, growing mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, because we allow what we think are struggles to define and steal our peace. So, I spoke a little bit longer than I had planned, but I hope that helps. Don't let your ego get the best of you. It'll test you. It'll say, no, you need to worry, because what if, and it'll tell you the worst case scenario, right? But consciously make a decision to choose peace rather than letting anything or anybody pop your peace bubble. So I hope to share some of my Maui adventures. I'm going to have a lot of solitude because Thomas is golfing, I believe, Friday and Saturday. So it's like 5 hours plus by myself. Plan to do goat yoga. Plan to just enjoy my company, which I rarely do, right? I don't know how many of you take the time to just enjoy solitude. As an only child, I used to, but lately, I guess I surround myself with either students or moms or family or friends. But take the time today, whatever you're doing, to either look outside, if you can go into nature. Lately, one of my friends said to touch a tree and go barefoot and just touch the grass. And even if it's for a few moments. I touched a tree the other day and it was covered with ants, but I thought, okay, I'm gonna just do this. And it's amazing how you can actually feel the peace moving around in your body and your worries literally like melt away. So try that. Let me know if it works. I know if you are going through something like the health scare of a loved one, Charlene, it's just so hard. I just look back at, you know, when my dad just suddenly passed. It was like he went in because he had a hard time breathing, and then he was about to be released, and then 2 days later, we lost him. So I'm not saying it's easy, but my mission is to, of course, increase peace, decrease stress, worries, and fears. So thanks for watching, guys, and I look forward to next Wednesday. Bye.